What's up, guys? Baker here. I am back, and today I have a tutorial on recursive keying. And I honestly don't know if that's a real term or not. I kind of just made that off the top of my head because I don't know what to call this. And you'll see why I picked that title in a second. But here's just a quick example of what I'm going to do. Here's you can see a nice sky replacement and some pretty nice keying going on. And what this is about is keying that you can't really use like normally, like a color key or a luma key or something. And I'll show you real quick. I kind of came up with this technique helping one of my friends, Miss SoCal Savage, and it's pretty sweet. So you can't really use a color key here because there's lots of different colors. There's blue and there's whites, and it would just be a hassle to key this, and it would be a hassle to try to mask every single frame and get this all nice and sharp, and it would just be terrible doing it by hand. So what I came up with is this. First, we're going to have our layer. We're going to call this the background layer. Layer. And what I'm going to do is first just take the pen tool and mask out the window that I don't want. And I'm not going to worry about this little building because then it would show part of the glass, and I don't want any of that. So I'll just kind of mask that out. Push M, set this to subtract, and then I'll use the pen tool again and then just mask the other window. Just going on up here. And I'm doing this because this is a static camera, so I can just mask it and just leave it. And looks like I need to fix a few of the points. So just make sure this looks pretty nice. If you need to, you can push MM, and you can see for this back window, you can kind of see this edge back here. So just go ahead and use the expansion and expand it a little bit. So maybe 2, maybe 3 pixels to extend out and get rid of those gross edges. Okay, so now we got rid of the windows, but our guy is missing, and you can see it's cut out, and we want to bring him back, but we don't want to make a third mask and keyframe and stuff. So let me just take this space background, put it back here, kind of see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is actually duplicate our background layer, rename this to guy, I guess, and push M and delete the 2 masks. So now we just get the regular clip again. Duplicate it one more time and call this the matte. So what I'm going to do is actually I noticed that the difference between the guy and the windows, there's enough contrast to use a luma matte so that our regular clip will only show up in the dark part of the guy. So let's go and try that real quick. I'll hide the background layer and the space background and go to the guy and you use luma inverted. And you can see if I toggle the transparency, we have the guy pretty much soloed, and then the background is transparent. It's not all the way transparent. You can see that there's some parts of the window still showing, and the guy is actually a little bit transparent still. So what we're going to do now is, if we turn on our matte layer, we can, I'll put on a tint to kind of show you what we're doing, because what we want to do is change this to pretty much black and white, and we want it all black for the guy, and then the windows to be all white, because the add-on needs to show up only in the dark parts. So we're going to add on some levels, drag that onto our matte layer, and increase the input black until we can crush all the black so this is solid black. Now lower the input white to make the windows as bright as you can, and you can see almost all the windows gone. So I'm going to keep crushing it, and about there looks good. And maybe crush the black a little bit more until we get a perfect contrast, black and white. And you can scrub through and you can see the guy is completely black, window is white. So if I turn it back off, the guy is now completely filled in and the window is gone. Now it doesn't matter that there's still like these pieces here, because that's going to add on to our background layer and it won't make a difference. So if I turn this back on, there we go. We got a perfect keying. If we look, looks pretty sharp. There's a little bit of weird gray edges, and if that's really bugging you a lot, a quick way to fix that is take your matte and your guy, go to layer, pre-compose, move all attributes, doesn't matter what you call it, put on a simple choker and just choke it maybe 1, maybe 2 pixels. You don't want to make it too smooth because you start to lose a little bit of detail, but the edge around the gun is a little bit less subtle. And yeah, we get a perfect keying using the layer itself, not even like a real key or an effect or plugin, just an Illumimat on itself. But I think that's a very interesting technique. Again, it won't work for every clip. It's got to be really contrasted between what you want to keep and what you want to take away. So I think that was pretty sweet. Also with some cool color correction, you can kind of hide a little bit of the edge stuff. But anyways, that's the tutorial. Recursive keying, I'm going to call it. And I really hope you enjoyed learning these cool techniques, even though it's not a specific effect or anything. But yeah, go ahead and like, favorite, comment, share, whatever you want to do. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter for updates and cool previews and stuff. And yeah, peace.